An Israeli aid agency is denying that Israel uses hunger as a weapon of war. The statement comes after a UN special committee found that Israel's war in Gaza is, quote, consistent with the characteristics of genocide, end quote, including mass civilian casualties and using starvation as a weapon. This week, the Human Rights Watch also released a scathing new report about the conditions in Gaza, accusing Israel of massive, deliberate, forced displacement of Palestinian civilians, accounting to a war crime and crimes against humanity. The Israeli military denies that and says it is, I'm quoting now, committed to international law and operates accordingly, end quote. Joining us now is Federico Borrello. He is a senior researcher at the UN Institute for Disarmament Research. Federico, great to see you. So in your view, in this UN report, it says Israel is intentionally causing death, starvation, and serious injury to inflict punishment on the Palestinian population. Do you see anything consistent with that?
Yes, first, just a correction. I'm currently the Deputy Executive Director at Human Rights Watch, so I'm speaking to you on behalf of Human Rights Watch. I think that was an old title. However, there are approximately 2.1 million civilians in Gaza, and 1.9 million of these 2.1 are currently displaced. Around 80% of territory in Gaza is currently under evacuation orders by Israel. An entire population has been displaced and displaced multiple times. So we at Human Rights Watch found that Israeli authorities have caused, as you said, massive and deliberate forced displacement of civilians, and that this being widespread and systematic, they amount to a crime against humanity. Another thing that we found is that the Israeli authorities' organized and violent displacement of Palestinians is planned to be permanent, at least in the buffer zones and security corridors. And we therefore concluded that these acts amount to ethnic cleansing, which is a policy of forcibly removing people from an ethnic group from an area with the intention to never allow them to return.
And consistent with your numbers, the UN is estimating that more than 90% of Gaza's population has been displaced in the last year. About 1.9 million people. Your group says that does amount to a war crime. So we should note the Israeli military denies Human Rights Watch's accusation of mass displacement in Gaza.